stand on the rock. Yes, Lord, gonna stand on the rock. It's gonna be my home. Gonna stand on the rock. Yes, Lord, smack dab in the middle of the Spirit zone.
When life is hard and you're in despair, and you've got troubles that you can't bear.
Stand on the rock. Yes, Lord, stand on the rock. It's gonna be my home.
Now there's one sure spiritual strategy. Go stand on the rock and be set free.
Stand on the rock. Yes, Lord, stand on the rock. It's gonna be my home. Gonna stand on the rock. Yes, Lord, gonna stand on the rock. It's gonna be my home. Gonna stand on the rock. Yes, Lord, smack dab in the middle of the Spirit zone.
When Daniel stood in the lion's den, he didn't need anybody to tell him what to do.
Stand on the rock. Yes, Lord, stand on the rock. It's gonna be my home.
He just called on the Spirit from above, and the light came down with wondrous love.
Stand on the rock. Yes, Lord.
Yes, it did.
Stand on the rock. It's gonna be my home. Gonna stand on the rock. Yes, Lord. Gonna stand on the rock. It's gonna be my home. Gonna stand on the rock. Yes, Lord. Smack dab in the middle of the Spirit zone.
If I come up short, it'll be all right, 'cause I'm gonna pray with all my might.
Yes, Lord.
Yes, I
Stand on the
will.
rock. It's gonna be my home.
I'm gonna grow in love, I'm gonna grow in grace, gonna spread good news all over the place.
Stand on the rock. Yes, Lord.
Oh, yes, I
Stand on the rock. It's
will.
gonna be my home. Gonna stand on the rock. Yes, Lord. Gonna stand on the rock. It's gonna be my home. Gonna stand on the rock. Yes, Lord. Smack dab in the middle.
I wanna be
Smack dab in the middle.
Put me
Smack dab in the middle.
Hold me
Smack dab in the middle of the Spirit zone. Spirit zone. Smack dab in the middle of the Spirit zone. Yeah.
Thank you. Higher ground, everyone. Don't they sound great? Beautiful. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm Reverend Cherie Taylor-Jones. I'm the senior minister here at Unity Church of the Hills, and I'm so glad that you could join us. If you are joining us online, thank you for choosing us to be your spiritual home. We really love and appreciate you, and I hope that you can feel the love just beaming out to you in your home. Sit back, grab your coffee, your tea, hot chocolate, maybe. And if you're still in your jammies, it's okay. We are just so thrilled to be here today. And I know it looks not as crowded as normal, but we've got vacations going on right now, and that's all right. Plus, it's early. By the time I get up here the next time, it'll be like double the size. So we know how that works. I want to tell you a deep appreciation. Our finances last week was $19,000. That means we broke even just a little bit more. Woo! So thank you. Thank you. And yes, we do this to support this community and what we're trying to put out in the world and how we're trying to change the world, but it's a little bit more than that. And today's Daily Word, and if you're not aware, the Daily Word is one of our publications that we have in Unity, and this goes out globally. And today, the word is generous. As I give, I share God's abundance. Appropriate? I love synchronicity and divine timing. The limitless resources of infinite spirit flow through my loving heart and clear mind as a never-ending supply of divine ideas. I always have all that I need to live abundantly, and I share my abundance with others joyfully and freely. I give generously of my resources, talents, and skills, happy to support those I care about. I am generous with praise, gratitude, and encouragement. I give generously of my time. I am a good friend, a devoted family member, and a compassionate listener. Whenever I give, without thought of reciprocation, right? Without getting something back, I center myself in the divine flow. I am grateful, trusting recipient of Spirit's unfailing generosity and a conduit through which all of God's blessings flow. Yes, so we say yes to that. So think about that every time that you're loving someone, praising someone, giving of your time, talent, you're just being in that universal flow of unlimited supply. Yes, and I believe that. So I don't know if all of you are aware, but we have this amazing video that Courtney Poole designed. I didn't ask her to design anything. She just came and sent me an email. What do you think of this? And I was like, oh my God, this is fabulous. So I just want you to see it, please, again. So what about us humans? Are we finally ready to just say humanity is one? Can we just start there? Are we willing to release the lie that says division and separation are required for a society to be successful? So I'm going to go there. My friends, there is no religion that is right. What? There is no religion that is right. Religion is a man-made construct. A man-made construct by men who attempted to create God in their image. I'm also going to go here. There is no political right party. There is no political right party. We go at war over this crazy concept. Once again, a construct. I'm going here too. There is no race that is right either. There is no race. There is only humanity. And the time, my friends, is now. It's time to stand up. It's time to create anew. It's time for us to be in the question of what society says is normal. It's not normal to hate someone simply because they look different than you. And these concepts, my friend, are all antithesis of truth. God is love and wants you to remember that you are part of it, and therefore you are love. So I'm inviting you to spread the word. There's a QR code there. You can click it with your phone and just get it out. It's not about me. Sure, I look good on that. I'm not going to lie. Right? But it's about the content. It's about what people are seeing and talking about right now, what they're feeling, what's driving us. Let's get in that conversation and let's create anew. So that's why I want us to spread this conversation piece. Right now on Facebook, we are over 1,000 views. So it's getting out there. So yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. The other thing that I want to mention is we've got a few weeks left with our beautiful angel known as Becca Cooper. Her last time with us is July 31st. And then they will spread their wings and go to Hawaii to do a one-year internship. Becca's been with this community about 10 years, and I've had the honor of supporting her for the last year. So, the Rainbow Fellowship is inviting you to join on Sunday the 24th after service at the Mexican restaurant Los Reyes as a celebration and to love up our angel, okay? All right, so I'm going to invite Roderick, who's back from some country where it was like sunny and beaches and whatever, so that's nice, and our beautiful fair chaplain, Julie McClendon, to do the opening prayer. Thank you.
So let's settle into that sound, into the space of our hearts, feeling in ourselves in that place of being centered in God, and feeling a great sense of gratitude, saying thank you. Thank you for everybody who's here today, no matter how they're here, and thank you for everything that brings this church together to be what it is. We look forward to a perfect service, knowing that we are each and every one of us divinely led and moving toward our highest good. So we're excited to see what happens today and what happens in the weeks to come. We know that it will all be perfect, and we can't wait. And so it is. Amen.
Good to see all your beautiful faces here. I think it's worth noting that our overall attendance for last Sunday was 422. 422. And also, put your hands together one more time for Higher Ground. Really good performance. All right, so Pride Month is officially over nationwide, but our Pride event's going to happen in August 20th. And our fellowship ambassadors, Davina Works and James Lampazana, are hard at work organizing this year's Pride Parade and Festival. So this year it will be held at Fiesta Gardens, 2101 Jesse Segovia Street, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's going to be hot, but but it's going to be all fine. Let's see. There will be free inflatable games and carnival rides, a drag queen story time, so you do not want to miss. Who knows what those stories are going to be, so you might want to show up. So under the big tree in the family zone from 12 to 1, there will be 140 plus vendor booths, drinks, food, and more. There will be advance tickets available through Tuesday. The day of tickets available at the festival gates are $20 and $10 for ages 7 to 17. 6 and under are free. All right, so we all want to get our bodies shredded for summer, but what about our papers? You want to shred those? We are having a paper shredding fundraising event. July 31st, that's a Sunday, from 10 a.m. to 11:15, so come before service. Our unit teams will be there to support you. For $10 a box, you can drop off your documents and we will shred them for you. Just remember to remove the paper clips or bindings of any kind. And so if you'll join me now on our mission statement, we'll read it together. We put God first, celebrate life, serve truth, and empower people to transform their lives. Celebration.
Good morning, everyone. Every now and then we come across a song that has something to it. So we want to share this with you, and the word's going to be on the board. So it's simple, it's repetitive. I think it's fun. If you like it, we'll add it to the repertoire for a Sunday morning congregation. If you don't like it, we still going to sing it anyway because we like the song.
Kind of, yeah.
bless me, God, indeed. Fear has been defeated, we have a victory. Bless me, God, not just for me, but so everyone around me can have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need. Bless me, God, indeed. Fear has been defeated, we have our victory. Bless me, God, not just for me, but so everyone around me can have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need. Favor, let it fall on me, till I'm the conversation for all my victories. Favor, God, not just for me, but so everyone around me can have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need. Favor, let it fall on me, till I'm the conversation for all my victories. Favor, God, not just for me, but so everyone around me can have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need. Bless me, God, and me. Fear has been defeated, we have our victory. Bless me, God, not just for me, but so everyone around me can have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need.
We got everything we need. Criticized but forsaken. We got everything we need. Because God's a promise keeper. We got everything we need. I got the victory because our God's got everything we need. I shall live and not die. We got everything we need. Because God is on my side. We got everything we need. Did I tell you he's a friend of mine? We got everything we need. Lift him up, lift him up. Our God's got everything we need. Take it up. We got everything we need. Take it up, take it up. We got everything we need. Take it up, take it up. We got everything we need. Yeah, take it up. Our God's got everything we need. I will never forget. We got everything we need. The Lord has never failed me. We got everything we need. Every test and every trial. We got everything we need. See, we blessed, our God's got everything we need. See, I know we're blessed. We got everything we need. I said we're blessed. We got everything we need. Oh, we're blessed. We got everything we need. We are blessed. Our God's got everything we need. We 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 got everything. Our God's got everything we need. Whatever you need. We got everything we need. The Lord has already supplied. We got everything we need. We are standing in the blessing. We got everything we need. Take it higher, take it higher. Our God's got everything we need. Bless me, God, indeed. Fear has been defeated, we have our victory. Bless me, God, not just for me, but so everyone around me can have everything. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need. Let all these folks that's with me, God, have everything they need.
We are awake and in the flow. Thank you, Celebration, the band. You guys are awesome. Woo. Oh, I feel fired up. Okay, so we're going to be talking about heaven. Is heaven real? And often we are told by religious leaders that our reward for all of our suffering, all of our sacrifices will happen after we die, right? When we get to heaven. So a show of hands, how many remember from Sunday school or religious training being taught about heaven? Okay, that's a lot. All right. So I've asked my incredible assistant, Reggie, to work with me. See, I'm offering you a slice of heaven now to be enjoyed after service if you're willing to answer some questions about what you learned in Sunday school or religious training about heaven. Fair? Okay. So these are called Maxine's Heavenly Cookies. They are non-GMO, gluten-free, and vegan. I worked hard on this. But here's the thing, they taste amazing. They do. I tried one out, Graham and I tried one. Right, am I lying? I'm not lying, they're good. They're good. All right, so a taste of heaven. All right, so who's gonna answer, where is heaven located? Up there, okay, give out a couple. Okay, and how far up there is heaven located? Way up, okay. All right, good. And how do we get there? You gotta die. Who was that? Who said that one? Okay, right next to you. Okay, Joy, you got it. All right. And what does it look like? Wait, okay, go. Streets of gold. Okay, gentlemen there. Who else? Puffy clouds. The beautiful woman in purple there. Puffy clouds. Well, I didn't even hear anything from you. Why are you putting your hand in there? Did you learn that in school? Yes, beautiful. All right, so she's stealing my thunder. She's saying that it's in here. It's in here. What else did you learn from Sunday school? Pearly gates. Who said pearly gates? Okay, that's Paul back there. Hand up. Surrounded by loved ones. Who said that? Okay, good, good. Oh, and not everybody gets there, right? Who gets there? Only Catholics. I heard only Catholics. Who else gets there? Opal, what did you say? Perfect people, that's right. Perfect saintly people, right? The saintly people. Christians. Christians. Straight people. Beautiful. Straight people. Christians. People who are saved, right? That was another one that I heard. What else? The chosen people. And depending on your religion, it could be as low as 144,000, right? Okay. All right. Thank you. Anything else that we may have not touched on? James. Accepting Jesus as your Savior. Oh, what about St. Peter? That's right. What? The big book? Yes. Right. St. Peter is going to judge you. That's right. Whew. Well, I think we got it nailed down now. Thank you, Reggie. The story of heaven, right? As this far away, unreachable place that you can only get to if you die, right? Is very similar to some parenting techniques that people use. You know, that reward one. I'm sure you've heard this. Honey, if you get good grades this semester, this term, you know that video game you've always been wanting? It's yours, right? Or that trip, right? So how is the promise of obtaining the ultimate reward for being good, which is residing in heaven for all eternity after death, any different? How is it any different? So today, here at Unity Church of the Hills, we're going to question if heaven actually exists. And if heaven does exist, what do we have to do to get in there, right? So let's start at the beginning. How did we come to believe that this is the concept of heaven? You know, the one surrounded by the pearly gates, St. Peter as the guard, allowing or not allowing people in. So far away, you can only get it at death. Angels wear togas. That was one of mine. And harps play all the time. Come on, people, you've heard the harps playing all the time, right? How do we get that that's the real heaven? Well, let's start with some sacred texts. We're going to look first at the Jewish Bible. There are references to heaven in the Jewish Bible, and one of the first ones being in the book of Genesis. And it is Jacob that has a dream. And in his dream, there is a stairway from heaven all the way down to earth, and he sees angels descending from and ascending to heaven. And at the top of the staircase, God stands and speaks to Jacob in his dream. And then we're going to look now at Christology, the New Testament. Where do we get those ideas that Peter could be this gatekeeper? And let's turn to Matthew. Matthew chapter 16, verses 18 and 19. And Jesus said this to Peter, "And I tell you, you are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the powers of death shall not prevail against it. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." So this verse comes at a time when Jesus is kind of schooling his disciples. He's doing that Socratic method where he's doing the questioning. Who do you say I am? What do you think God is? Do you think you're part of God? Those kind of questions. And Simon Peter answered Jesus' question saying, "You are the Christ, the living Son of God." And at that moment of Peter's answer is Jesus' response, which I just read to you, right? And he's giving Peter the keys to the kingdom of heaven. And in our mind, it's very easy then to deduct that, wow, this is the dude. This is the dude you got to get through, right, at those gates. And then we look to Revelations. Now, this whole Revelation has been designed by St. John. And he's a prophet, and he got lots of visions, but these visions were often steeped in symbolism. And his writings are often referenced as the end times. Have you heard that before? The end times. Because it's a scary book, let me just say. It's a scary book. And it's in chapter 21 that John is describing what happens after the apocalyptic war between good and evil. And then after the 1,000 years of peace. And then after that, the kingdom of heaven comes down to earth. And John describes the heavenly city is made of walls of jasper and adorned with all kinds of jewels. And then it's in chapter 21 verse, that he writes this about the gates to the city. And the 12 gates were 12 pearls, each of the gates made of a single pearl. And the street of the city was pure gold, transparent as glass. So there you have it, right? The pearly gates, streets with gold. So it's really easy for us to look at this from a literal interpretation that this is what heaven looks like, right? And of course, we all want to be there after we are out of our bodies. But what we often forget are that these texts are channeled. Every sacred text that we have has been channeled. And what does that mean? It means that God, angels, spiritual guides spoke or gave visions to these people. And these people often had limited understanding of the totality of what they were being told and informed. So why do you think Jesus spoke in parables? He spoke in parables and stories to help people understand what he was saying from their viewpoint, from their references that were going on in their world. And when we look at the scariness of Revelation, what we fail to forget is that, no, we do forget, but what we fail to remember is that St. John was in exile. He was persecuted. He could only write in symbolism because of the Roman Empire. Did you know that there are also other religions that talk about heaven? If we look to the Quran, which is the sacred text of Islam, there is discourse and depictions of heaven, and heaven is not seen as this fluffy thing in the sky, but as a lush garden. And this is attainable for those who do the work of Allah, which is the same as God, right? And so they speak of it as gardens of pleasure. And then we look to Hinduism. And it's interesting, in Hinduism, there's been a shift. So it started with the sacred text called the Vedas, which came about 1500 to 1000 BCE. And in the Vedic religion, after death, people went to a lush green garden with beautiful music. See, the harps are already playing there, right? But then they had a shift in consciousness. By around 700 to 100 BCE, the Upanishads were written. That's sacred scriptures again, and it reshaped Hinduism. And they taught that the essence of heaven was to be freed from Maya. Maya, M-A-Y-A, right? And Maya means illusion. So they came to believe that heaven was to be freed from illusion. And illusion are those beliefs that we humans hold on to that block us from reality, that immerse us in pain and suffering of the world. And then we look to Buddhism. You know, their basic tenet is that there's this unlimited cycles of life and death, right? So you're born, you live your life, you die, and then you reincarnate over and over and over again. And heaven for them is the end of the cycle, the end of that cycle of being reborn over and over again. So for them, heaven is escaping the pain and the suffering into union with the deepest reality. And how do they get there? How do they attain heaven? Through extensive practice of meditation and detachment. Detachment from objects, detachment from people, even detachment from our egoic self. And ultimately, through this work, you reach nirvana. And nirvana is where there is no concern about things going on in this plane of existence. That's heaven, nirvana. And then Taoism, we've spoken about Taoism here as well, and for them, heaven is an underlying harmony of being. Harmony of being. So that's just a brief snapshot of some of the world religions and how they look at heaven. And here in New Thought, which is a philosophy that unity is a spiritual movement and a part of, heaven has long become a metaphysical understanding that it depicts a state of consciousness, right? It's where our soul and body are in union with divine mind. Now, some of you have taken the Quest class, which is a year-long, which is a year-long study that you can do about metaphysical understanding, foundational work. And here they explain that heaven is a state of mind. When you live in the awareness of God as a presence and a power in your life, when no matter what happens in the outer world, the real of you is unchanging. God, what would that be like? The real of you is unchanging. Peace-filled and expectant of good. Heaven will indeed be in the midst of you. Heaven will indeed be near. And then we have Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes is the founder of a New Thought movement, spiritual movement known as religious science. And he references the New Text scripture of John. And it's John 3:13, which says, "No one has ascended into heaven but he who descended from heaven, the Son of Man." And I have to tell you, when I first read this script in the past, I was like, well, that leaves me out, right? There's no way. But it's not true. When we do the reading and we do some work, Ernest Holmes clarifies this for us. He says, here is another of those hidden meanings. Only that can return to heaven which was born in heaven. And since heaven is not a place, but a state of consciousness, the return must be a recognition that heaven is already within. That's like a mic drop, right? Boom. There it is. So to answer the question, does heaven exist? Yes. Yes. But heaven is not a place, not a reward for being good, or only reachable by saying the secret phrase, Jesus is my Savior, right? Heaven is a state of consciousness, and it's within each of us. So the next question then becomes, well, how do we get to heaven? Well, the good news is you don't have to wait till you're dead. Woohoo. Equally good is that you don't have to go to confession or be anointed. And the best news ever is that heaven is available to every one of us. Now, we are already worthy of heaven. Why is that? Because we are part of the divine. We are God in skin. The issues we human have is not realizing that we have the power to experience heaven now. Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore wrote the book, Keep a True Lent, and he shares his understanding of heaven with us. Heaven is everywhere present. It is the orderly, lawful adjustment of God's kingdom in humankind's mind, body, and affairs. It is the Christ consciousness, the realm of divine ideas, a state of consciousness in harmony with the thoughts of God. Heaven is within every one of us. Yeah, amen is right. So that means that we have the power to make heaven on earth a reality. We have that power. Now, often, ministers, teachers kind of stop there, and I'm always at that point of, well, how do we do it? What are the steps? Tell me something I can use. So I'm going to do that for you because that's my angst. We use love and oneness to live our lives. We use oneness and love to live our lives. We honor the divinity in each person that we meet. And we use those divine ideas that we gather from the realm of truth to manifest an outpicture here on earth. And all this knowledge is really wonderful. I held it down too long because now it's like gone somewhere else. It's really wonderful, but it's not helpful unless we apply it to our lives. And it's easy to apply it to our lives when things are great. You know, when we're feeling like we're in the flow, we're in the zone, life is just happy. But what about when we're struggling? What about those times? And I don't care how much positivity you want to say we are, and we are. We have moments where we struggle. That's life. And I frequently told you that I would share my struggles as well as my awakenings. So I'm going to take a moment and just share that I've been struggling recently to honor the kingdom of heaven. It's been a really tough week for me. It's been tough, and it's also been, at the same time, this wonderful feeling of being enfolded in God's love. And the reason that I say that it's been tough, it's because people that I love have judged me as lacking and unworthy of their love and grace, without ever having a conversation with me. My heart, it felt really, truly broken. And from my ego, I was just incensed by the injustice of it all, right? I can have all of those, right? We're all human. And I have to tell you, I didn't sleep for a few nights. And I sobbed. And I'm not talking about those real pretty tears that come when you watch a movie and they're having a sentimental moment. No, I'm talking about that gut-wrenching, nose-snotting, whoa, with sounds that come from somewhere primal within you that you didn't even know you had. That's what I'm talking about. You know, when Graham's there with me and he's holding my hand and I'm trying to like get a grip, I'm like, I can't get there yet. And he's like, it's okay. You don't need to. You know? I wanted to run away and hide because I knew it wasn't going to be pretty. I'd like to be pretty. attached to that a little bit. And then through it all, I cried out to God, how can this be happening? I'm a really good person, and I've done nothing but love them. How could they believe something like that about me? And then I did my work. I was talking to you about doing your work. What's your work to do, right? Not to sit and stew in that. Of course, we have to feel that, right? But then we do our work to move beyond it. So my therapist on speed dial lately, and my coaches and my mentors, and I talked to them, and I got to see beyond the indictment. I got to see the possible unconscious biases and beyond that. I got to acknowledge that as a minister, the role that I embody here at Unity Church of the Hills is that not only do I represent God, but I represent all of those spiritual leaders who have come before you that may have abused or hurt you in any way. I represent them too. And I also came to the realization that there is this level of expectation of perfectionism that is not attainable on the human level. So at that time, I really got to do a good deep dive with God and with grace. Grace and the kingdom of heaven are entwined in this beautiful fabric of energy that just supports each of us by the universe. Grace is receiving a bounty of blessings without merit or cause, just because you exist, just because you are part of the divine. And the very next day, my heart broken and confused, I knew I had to show up to support others. I had 5 spiritual counseling sessions over the next 2 days. And I thought to myself, God, how am I going to do this? I feel so broken. How am I going to do this? And I prayed and affirmed God's love and affirmed, what am I here to be? Who am I here to be? And these sessions were not only gifts to the people who I supported, but gifts to me. It reminded me about how damaging it is for a divine human being to internalize someone else's beliefs of who they are. Did you hear me? The grace of God was truly amazing because within 24 hours, I was able to transmute that pain and disillusionment by loving and caring for others. Do you understand why I'm such a proponent about volunteering, be of service? This stuff works. It works, my friends. Show of hands, how many of you have spent so much of your energy and time trying to convince someone else of who you are? Come on, people, put those hands up. How many of you? Then look around, people. Keep your hands up. Look around. It's common. It's normal. Thank you. Thank you for your honesty. We may think if we can only prove our worth, our innocence, our light, our love, our integrity, that they will finally get it. They will finally know who we are. And when I say get it, we really mean that they will realize that they were wrong. Right? That's what we're talking about. But this course of action will only lead us to frustration, polarization, and possibly demonization. We have no power of what anyone thinks of us. Let me say that again. We have no power over what anyone thinks of us. So we can choose to stay in one-dimensional humanity, which in my case would mean I would feel this need to protect myself, to be defensive, to keep people away, and say, you know what, nobody's going to hurt me like that again. Bunk this, right? How many people have you do? All right. Thank you again for your honesty. Or we can remember we only have power over ourselves. And here is where the kingdom of heaven comes into play. The kingdom of heaven means honoring truth, that there is only one God. there is only one. There's only oneness. And in this struggle, the struggle that we're experiencing is for our highest good. Even if we can't see it in the moment, it's for our highest good. And through it all, we love ourselves. Through it all, we love ourselves. There's also this false perception that love and oneness means that we accept hypocrisy, abuse, or damaging behavior. And I'm here to tell you that that is incorrect. Love and oneness means, yes, we follow our Wayshore and other ascended teachers that have come before us that have modeled the Christ, and we create clear boundaries and walk in integrity. Jesus was not someone who accepted behaviors of others that were not in alignment with oneness. He overturned tables of the money changers. He called the priests out on their behavior of hypocrisy, and he said no to injustices. They are not mutually exclusive. So today, we can choose to create the kingdom of heaven, here, now. Each of us is divinity in skin, even people who may see things differently than we do. Still, divinity in skin. And all of our life experiences, every one that we've had, you know what it does? It supports us in seeing the world a certain way. Through those tinted lens, we see the world. So two people, as in this example, can see the same exact thing and see it differently. And no matter how much we try to convince the other that it's the other way, they are just seeing it that way. Right? You'll know that's hitting your head on the wall there. I think that's a great example of what we're seeing right now and outpicturing in our world. My hope is that with this awareness, with this demonstration here, that you are able to shift your consciousness from being in this type of resistance to each other because of differences to coming up and being the observer, right? So elevating your consciousness and coming as being the observer and then tapping into the divine realm, to truth, to consciousness that is light and love. And as you tap into that, you get to access pure ideals that are only love. And then we get to create new thoughts. We get to create new worlds. This is how we start this merging the planes, divinity and earth, to create heaven on earth. The kingdom of heaven is nigh. This is how we do it. So today, we are transformed by all of our experiences: joy, happiness, peace, sadness, disappointment, hurt, all of it. And all of it gives us an opportunity to really know God at a deeper level. You know, I've got to tell you, this week, God is just walking with me. And we're constantly having this dialogue back and forth. And I'm like, oh, really? You know, and it's that kind of thing. And that's okay. That's okay. But here's the other piece of these experiences. They allow us to meet others where they are and to help them navigate and transmute and hopefully transform. So, you know, I say all the time, all experiences are of God. All experiences are of God. And today we have the choice. And I hope that you will join me in creating heaven on earth together. Namaste.
ready, there's a train a-comin'. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels coming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Ooh. So people get ready for the train to Jordan, picking up passengers coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors and board 'em. There's hope for all, we're all loved the most. Ooh, ooh. There's always room for the sad and lonely, who sometimes feel that they're on their own. So reach out, my friends, for giving love is holy. The train is for all and not ours alone. Ooh. People get ready for the train a-comin'. You don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord.
Just beautiful. I love what you bring, so just know that it touches our hearts. Thank you. So if you're willing, let's get our bodies in alignment, whatever that looks like and feels like for you. You just want to have your energy field open as we meditate today. Let's take that nice deep cleansing breath in. Hold it and release. One more deep breath in. Count to 4. Let it out. And I want you to envision with me the truth of who you are, divinity and skin. What does that look like for you? Is it an energy ball? Does it have a color to it? Is it gold or pink or lavender? When you see the truth of who you are, your true essence, what does it look like? When I see mine, it's this round ball of energy, and it's all bright white with light tinges of gold on it. And it's a joyous energy, and it's clear in who it is, clear in what it is, clear in its purpose. So I invite you to find that place in your body where the truth of who you are resides. And then picture it. It's wonderful. Bright light, the truth of who you are. Divinity. And now I want you to imagine someone who may have disappointed you or hurt you or said something that really broke your heart a little bit. Bring them to mind and invite them in to the truth of who you are. Invite the truth of who they are to connect to the truth of who you are. Your initial thought may be like, no, wait, I don't want them in here. And that's okay. But go to your divine knowing and ask, is there enough love and light to do this work? Do I have enough light and love to do this work? And once you get a yes, invite the divine energy of that person who may have hurt you in. And if you get a no, that's okay. They can stay outside and you can have the conversation with them. And the conversation is, I see your divinity. I understand you are for my highest good. And allow oneness. Allow. And I want you to take a moment in the silence to connect, to engage, to hear, to feel, to understand this relationship, this person at a deeper level in the silence. And at the sound of my voice, you may say your goodbyes, your appreciation. You may bow to the divinity within that person from the divinity within you. And allow their energy to dissipate. And allow your own personal energy of the divine essence that you are to just pulsate within you, a little brighter, a little stronger, a little clearer. Now take a nice deep breath in and exhale. And if you're feeling any residual energy that's pulling from you, I invite you to sweep your hand in front of your body in a circle and allow that connection to dissipate. And be here now. Bring your awareness to this time and space, Unity Church of the Hills, the seat beneath you, your feet on the ground. And when you're ready, you may flood your eyes open, stretch out a little bit. There is only oneness. I love you guys.
Every morning, or every Sunday morning, I get the joy of living in my heaven, which is being a part of this community. And it's with that energy we get up here every Sunday morning to be a part of your heaven, this heaven that we've all created. So we all have this energy that's generated from us, creating this wonderful space, and it's amazing to be a part of. And I want you to take that amazing energy and focus it now into our offering. And as the ushers come forth, there are many ways that you can give. You can give via the app, You can give because you're here. You can write a check. You can mail a check. You can Venmo, Zelle, PayPal, Cash App, Yelp me, whatever. Anyone you have. Basically, what we're saying is give freely and joyfully from your heart into this heaven. And then the blessings will go forth. So let us say our divine blessing together using that energy. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I circulate, and I am grateful.
Spirit is real. The Lord is real to me. Spirit is real. I know that love is real to me.
Sometimes when I'm feeling low, nowhere to go, Spirit comes along and makes me strong. I know that I know that I know. Yes, I know. Spirit is real. I said Spirit is real.
Spirit is real. I know
The
the
Lord is real.
Lord is real to me.
I'm telling the truth. I know the Lord is real to me.
Spirit is real.
Hey.
I know the Lord is real to me.
Sometimes when I'm feeling down, no one around. Spirit is a friend I found.
Oh, I
I
know. Spirit is real.
I can feel it,
Can feel it in my hands.
feel it in my feet.
Feel it in my feet.
Oh, I know that the Lord will take good care of me. I know that I know.
Spirit is real.
I can feel it,
Can feel it in my heart.
feel it in my soul.
Feel it in my soul.
I can even feel it from the crown of my head all the way to the tips of my toes.
Oh, I know.
Spirit is real. How do you feel the spirit this morning? We have the energy and love today to know that heaven exists in our hearts, and I can say I know it's real. It's real. It's real. Oh yes, it's real.
Yes, it's real.
I know it is.
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 Oh yes, it's real.
Yes, it's real.
Say yes, yes.
Yes.
Say yes.
Yes.
Say yes. I know it's real.
Yes, it's real.
I know it is.
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 Yes, it's real.
Yes, it's real.
Were you telling him how fabulous he was? I know. He knows. He's fabulous, right, Roderick? You are fabulous. Thank you. Celebration. Hi, good to see you. I was wondering where you were. Oh, so Spirit, we just know you are real. And all of these gifts are simply an energetic exchange, that is just going to bless everyone that gave with a joyful heart in new, profound ways. And for all of this, we are truly grateful, and so it is. Amen. Amen. Thank you.
All right, can you feel the energy in the room today? I can feel it. Higher Ground, thank you again for being here. We really enjoy your being here, so thank you. All right, so our prayer chaplains are available to you this Sunday and every Sunday after service in the chapel. So if you are compelled or want to connect with one of them, they are available to you in the chapel after service. If you are watching us online and you want to connect with the prayer chaplain, the number has changed. It is now Silent Unity number. It's there on the screen, and it should be on your screen if you're watching at home. So there is a series of automated prompts that you can now choose from based on the experience you want to have at the time. So feel free to call anytime. Save the date. Guest speaker Shad Groveland. I love that name. Shad. Super cool. He is the senior minister at Unity Las Vegas, and he's also the executive director for Unity Worldwide Ministries. So he'll be here Sunday, August 7th. During his talk titled Unity, Then, Now, and Into the Future, Reverend Shad Groveland discusses how, in a rapidly changing world, we will experience significant changes. So join him on Sunday, August 7th, when he will discuss how Unity can adapt to those changes. And I think that's apropos, right? Adapting to change, we need that. So join him on August 7th for that enlightening talk. We Wisdom enrollment for August 22nd through December 22nd has begun. So if you have a child between the ages of 18 months and 5 years of age, We Wisdom offers a unique curriculum which honors the different learning styles of all children by incorporating art, music, yoga, nature, language, math, and science. So I would love to have yoga when I was that young. Namaste, for real. So if you have a child that age, feel free to enroll. You can go to unityhills.org to register. Next Sunday, this beautiful angel here will be speaking with us, or to us. So when we participate in communion, what are we doing? Are we perpetuating some strange cannibalistic ritual? Join Chaplain Becca Cooper as we look into the historical, religious, and spiritual meaning of communion. Metaphysics allows us to bring this Christian practice into perspective and unravel some of the myths and the stories we have created over time. So be here next Sunday and join Becca. I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.